If I could have your attention now in the media center, we're now joined by two challengers for the Championship 4 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with 4 spots available here at Phoenix International Raceway. We have Elliott Sadler, driver of the number 1 Main Chevrolet, and we have Erik Jones, driver of the number 20 Hisense Toyota, and we also have Ryan Reed, driver of the number 16 Willie Diabetes, American Diabetes Association Ford. 3 guys going for the 4 spots available in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I'm going to start with you, Elliott. This chase format, brand new in the Xfinity Series, has it met your expectations? How do you feel it's played out from your perspective this year?
Well, I definitely think it's met its expectations. There's so many different storylines and teams with momentum. Seems like each and every week and each and every different track we go to, it's you definitely see guys more aggressive than what we saw in the regular season, especially when it's the first race of a different round. Like we saw in Kansas and like we saw in Kentucky, and then you kind of play it from there depending on where you're at. But definitely, I think it's great for the Xfinity Series. I think it's really good for our sport. It's really good for our fans. It's great for our sponsors, and I think it's doing a good job bringing recognition to the drivers involved. So all in all, I think it's definitely been a great first year for the race to the chase for the Xfinity Series.
Erik, if the Championship 4 were set today, you would be in the field of Miami. Can you feel comfortable at all, though, going into tomorrow's race?
No, not entirely. I mean, more comfortable than we were going into Charlotte in the last round. But, it's just been kind of an up-and-down chase for us. It's hard to be in a spot where, you feel entirely comfortable. I mean, 7 points, I believe, is what we're up right now, but it's still not a huge gap. So it just takes one mistake or, one thing to go wrong, and we're out. So we just need to have a solid day and do what we need to do in advance.
Ryan, how much pressure are you feeling now, knowing that to guarantee a spot at Miami, you have to win to get in? How much pressure is that on your shoulders at this point?
Honestly, I don't feel a ton of pressure. I feel like we just go in here and kind of leave it all out there. We give 110%. We can take chances. I think me and Erik are probably, completely swapped positions. And, like he said, one mistake and you're out. Well, we are out right now, so we have to go in there and we have to do everything right to get in. So I don't feel a whole lot of pressure. It's not like it's mine to lose right now. We got to go out there and we got to go get it. So, I feel like, in practice we got to work really hard. We had about a 10th place car, I felt like, in practice, and I feel like they'll, and so, sometimes I think, you look at, okay, small changes. Well, we're throwing a lot at it right now in between sessions. So I think it's just an example of, we got to take chances. We've got to get away from, some baseline stuff, and we've got to be able to be willing to try stuff. So just do whatever we can and not regret anything come tomorrow afternoon.
Great. We're going to open the floor up for questions. If you have a question for these 3 gentlemen, please raise your hand. We're going to start in the back with Mr. Knight.
Hi, Elliott. This is for you. I'm Michael Knight for the Arizona Republic. In your Victory Lane interviews this year, you've been pretty emotional for a variety of reasons. Have you ever allowed yourself to get to the point where you would say to yourself, this might finally be my year for the championship?
I think, some of the emotional part is, I didn't know where my career was going to be in June and July. I didn't know if I would still be a part of the sport I love so much, past Homestead this year. So when you get kind of a second opportunity, which I felt like I've gotten this year, and we felt like we've capitalized on it and made the most of it, it makes me pretty emotional. You're never guaranteed or promised to win any weekend. You never know when your next win's going to come. So if you're able to win at some special places like we have this year, winning the throwback paint scheme at Darlington meant a lot to me. I've been going that racetrack for a long time, winning the first ever Xfinity Chase race ever. To go down in the history books with that is pretty emotional from a small town kid in Emporia, Virginia. So yeah, I've been emotional about it. It's really been probably the best year I've ever had in the Xfinity Series as far as stats are concerned. I've been close before. I've lost some. I've had one taken away from me. So championships are hard to come by, but I've been racing since I was 7 years old, and I was a fan of the sport first. And as a kid, you're always, you know, in our part of the country, it'd be a great honor to be a NASCAR champion. So all that being said, you know, we're very humbled to be in the position that we're in, but we're looking forward to the challenge, and all we're asking for is an opportunity to race for it next week. And if we play our cards like we're supposed to, we should have that chance.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Go next to Wolfgang.
Question also for Elliott, Wolfgang Monser from Germany. Elliott, 2 races more and then the season is over. Can you say something about your plans for 2017 already?
Yeah, I mean, we're coming back to be a part of the you know, junior motorsports family. We've just extended to four teams, and I'm very fortunate enough to be a part of that. And One Main has come back on board for a multi-year deal. So, you know, we're definitely looking forward to the future that we have together. You know, as a company, as a team, and as a group. So we're looking forward to getting through these next 2 races. But the future looks not only really good for me and my family, but also for the whole junior motorsports program with the new rules and stuff we have to have 4 full-time Xfinity guys running for the championship next year. I think gives us a lot of chances to make some waves, and we've all bought into this system, and hopefully it'll work for the future of our company that we're all in.
Any additional questions for these gentlemen? We'll go here to Chris.
Chris Knight, GuysRace.com. Doesn't apply to Erik because he'll be in Cup next year, but for Elliott and Ryan, we saw a lot of things change as far as the Xfinity Series platform this year. Just wondering if you guys felt like that the heat races that we saw in 2016 is something that you guys would like to see continue in 2017.
Yeah, I mean, I think the heat races have definitely changed a lot of the dynamic. You know, I mean, if you look at those races, it shortens the main event. You know, so our change, we have really 1 pit stop in a lot of those races. So I think that they changed up the dynamic, changed what you're looking at. You know, you know, from the driver's seat, you know, it certainly felt different. I think there's room to be improved on. You know, I think we can figure out a way to continue doing heat races. I think there is a lot there, and I think that there is a way to make those really exciting. I liked how you raced in the heat race to get yourself locked in for the Dash for Cash in the main, but I think we could continue to make them even better yet.
I'm not going to fall for the trap or answering that question, Chris. I'm going to say whatever the fans like and NASCAR likes, whatever format they bring to the racetrack, man, we're going to race. So that's our job as drivers, is to how many laps we got to run, that's what we got to run. Yeah, you were. Yeah,
Apparently I'm young and dumb enough to fall for the trap.
Any additional questions for these gentlemen? Well, guys, good luck tomorrow in the race, and good luck next week in Miami.
Thank you, guys. It's good to see some of y'all, too, by the way.